This show is clean.
Insert funny word.
Pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Effizode 780. Hi, it is Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcaster Valley, California. Today, I have part 2 of my Into an Interview with the talented and beautiful Idea, the artist. Plus, we'll hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, and are those Alexander the Great's bones? If they are, yuck. Mike's Daily Podcast. And I will tell you what happened on yesterday's show, unless you don't give a forget it. Mike's Daily Podcast. Forget you and forget me too. Yeah, on yesterday's show, Floyd the Floorman said he was kissed by David Hasselhoff. Oh, that really didn't sit too well with me, although I've had dreams about it. Did I just reveal that? Oh, embarrassing. And Floyd also got a retainer. Mike's Daily Podcast. He is wearing a retainer now. How strange. You know, I used to love going to concerts, but now I don't like so much. Unless it's like a local band. Yeah. It's an up-and-coming artist. It's someone that you're not going to have 30,000 people. Oh, I can't wait to see Train. Kelly Clarkson. Pink. Look who just walked in. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
And it's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
I love Pink. She is so talented. In fact, she got a country song out right now or something.
Yeah, she's teamed up with this guy, and they're doing kind of a me and him, she and him, Ward and Zooey Deschanel thing. M Ward.
What?
It's like when a man and woman get together.
Okay, let's not talk about that right now.
No, I'm talking about songwriting, singing. There's a lot of these pairings of people. Look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. I make the root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, boy.
Brewmaster, what root beer are you working on right now? What kind?
It's a delicious pairing root beer.
Oh, you pair things together like what?
Like peanut butter and sardines.
Oh. A lot of oils in that. But you know what? Interestingly, there's a lot of omega-3s in that combination you just mentioned.
Thank you.
Would never drink it, though.
All right, I'll throw it out.
Okay. There he goes to throw it out. And he's throwing it out. You know, I'm curious to see what he's throwing that out on. Let's go outside and see what he's throwing it on.
Mike, I threw the bad pairing root beer that you do not like on some azaleas.
Azaleas. Yeah. I want to kill those anyway. Let's go back inside. You know, not that I'm a murderous botanical person. Botanicus murderous. But that just... Hey, so, yeah, going to concerts is such a pain these days. I used to love it. Used to look forward to it. And then after you've been in a couple of traffic jams, you've gone to a couple shows where people spill drinks on you or smash into you or fights are happening or you have horrible seats and you can't see the show or it's too loud or they don't do your favorite song or you seen the Portlandia from last season. So, yeah, they've posted the last season of Portlandia on. And I guess they're airing their current new one on IFC, but they did this such a funny show. Fred Armisen, Carrie Brownstein, they're going to a concert. It shows all the problems they get into with getting their tickets and waiting in line and trying to use the bathroom and trying to get drinks and getting bumped into. It's great. I love that. That I'm probably the only person that found this interesting. But, you found it interesting too? Yeah. Because concerts stink. And I just wanted to say that Portlandia is great.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
Well, all right, yeah, that is my review of that. And that also is funny. The best part of going to the concert was leaving it. It shows them so happy. The only time they're smiling is when they're leaving, and there's like this song about home playing in the background. But I've been to a lot of great shows that have been done by the people that I've interviewed. I've gotten to see them at local venues, and I love that. I enjoy that. But these huge, big names, like, forget Taylor Swift. By the way, isn't she doing some kind of a 360 video thing where you get to see her whole concert experience? Why do you even need to go to her show when you can see it and you don't have to deal with all the concert crap? Mark, I want to go to a concert because I want to be in the same room breathing the same air as the person that I love. Uh-huh. Is that how you feel about the Disgruntled Fiddle Player? Yeah, I love him. And I want to be in the same air, breathing that with him right now with y'all.
Thank you, Benita. I want to be breathing the same air with you, too.
Great. I gotta go. Bye, he stinks. In other news, did you hear that the skeletal remains of Alexander the Great were found? That was a little early with that sound effect. Hold on, I have to yell at somebody.
Later that day.
I was yelling at the sound effects guy, which is actually me, so I was yelling at myself. Hey, that's not necessary. Yes, so Alexander the Great's era. Well, archaeologists have found skeletal remains inside a limestone grave at a vast ancient tomb in Greece that dates back to that era. And this is the most significant discovery to date at this site. The Amphipolis site is believed to be the largest ancient tomb to have been discovered in Greece and has spurred speculation as to whether the ancient conqueror or a member of his family was buried there. Alexander died in Babylonia, which is present-day Iraq, but his burial site is unknown. The skeletal remains are being examined for identification. This according to Reuters. Archaeologists in the past have said that the grave likely belonged to a prominent Macedonian and the site had been looted. I wonder, upon hearing this story, if some villain wants to fly down there, try and find Alexander the Great's bones, and then find them, create a serum, and inject them into himself to make him some kind of super scary villain. See, that time you were right on time, Mike. Thanks, Mike. What do you think about all this? Email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section Emails for Me Mail. Also, email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. And there's also the website, mikesdailypodcast.com. Links to where to listen to the show in iTunes. Subscribe to the show in iTunes. You can rate and comment on the show, and that helps our ranking if you do that. There's also links to where to find us on Facebook. Like the Facebook page when I post a new show, share it with your friends, and more people find out about us that way. It's a great way to support the show. Another great way to support the show is if you buy anything on Amazon, go through the Amazon window at mikesdailypodcast.com, and we get a little percentage of that when you buy something from Amazon. Like maybe you're going to buy the new Taylor Swift, which if you do, I don't think the spirit of Alexander the Great could help you, or any Macedonian for that matter, the ghost of any Macedonian, or maybe the band Macedon could help you. I'm not sure. That's Mastodon. There's also at mikesdailypodcast.com links to where to find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spreaker, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Yelp, Tumblr, Twitter. Oh, yeah, and if you want to buy concert tickets, there's a link to that. It's the website called Click It Ticket. A link to that at mikesdailypodcast.com. Because you know what? Concerts are fun. If you go to a good show and they got it organized, then you can get in and get out. Nothing wrong with that. I still remember with glee seeing a band back in the 80s at my local Ventura Theater, and the band was called Hot House Flowers. They were from Ireland. And I recently saw a video on YouTube that, you I'm sure probably have never heard of Hot House Flowers. Most people haven't. And sadly, that means their career kind of fizzled away. But they're like playing like little wineries and stuff. And they're playing one of my favorite songs in this YouTube video that somebody did with their iPhone. And it's so sad because the song, they're like the guy's playing the piano, the lead guy, Liam something, I forgot his name. And Irish. And he's playing it, singing, and he looks so sad. Like, here I am now, I'm in my late 40s, 50s, and it just didn't go the way I thought it would. La 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 la. I'm like, oh my gosh, there was a time they could have maybe touched the moon, but it wasn't in the cards. So, with Claire de Lune playing in the background, no, that's not. That is far from that. In the background, I'd just like to say MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. You can find past interviews there. And you can hear a new interview now.
Into an interview.
I'm speaking with Idea the artist, Inés Beltranena.
Very close.
Why am I having issues with your name?
It's a tough name. Beltranena.
Ah.
Very close. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Every time I think I've nailed it, you're like, very close. You're almost there.
You can break it down this way. Beltran is the family from Spain, and then Nena is sort of a word for like baby in Spanish, and so we were the immigrant family, so we're the child of the House of Beltran, so Beltra Nena. I don't know if that helps.
Nina, okay. But I'm realizing it's more like reaching the speed of light. Like the closer you get to it, the further it gets away. So I guess I'm just going to have to reconcile that. But
yeah, that's fine.
You go by Idea the artist, and your vocals are so raw and personal. Where does that come from? How do you do it?
That's emotive wise, I'm not sure where that comes from. When I'm practicing is very different than when I stand up in front of people and perform. Definitely that classic, you hear this from singers a lot, that when you're on a stage in front of people, you kind of leave the stage and it's not, it's more like you can really feel what it is that you're saying, because I think as artists what we're aiming for is to make people feel. So when I feel in a room that people are reacting to something I'm singing and they really understand where I'm coming from, it causes me to feel it very deeply as well. And I think that shows emotively in the voice. The voice being one of the most obviously emotive instruments, because it's, resonating in a place where we actually hold a lot of emotion and grief. And it's, they talk about when you're crying, the knot forming in your throat, those kinds of things will affect the sound of the voice. But I don't know. I've been singing my whole life. It always came very naturally to me, and spent a lot of time training rigorously with a few teachers, namely one named Heidi Jacobs, who I think is just phenomenal. And she really taught me how to find that balance of being really careful about my technique so that I have the precision and so that I can really deliver the notes that I want, but also freeing myself from the technique at a certain point and, allowing myself to kind of weep or be angsty or show joy through the way that I'm singing and the way that I'm shaping my words. So the combination, I think, of just technique and being human. Technique and being human. Cool. And then you're also teaching others. Yes. Yeah. I teach privately. It's called Hummingbird Voice, and I teach mostly actually a lot of professional singers that are in Bay Area bands such as Bell's Atlas, The Session. Who else? I've taught a couple members of Water Strider, and it's hard to name them all. I just have some really fabulous students. I recently started teaching a guy from a group called Panic is Perfect, and I had no idea. I love his songwriting, and I got to hear it on the internet and was just really excited. Really talented professional vocalists that are out doing it, and so it's really fun for me. I can go to their shows and see them apply these techniques and see them really conquer things that were once difficult for them, and that is incredibly fulfilling and very fun. And it's great. And you teach around the Bay Area? Yes, I do. I teach in Berkeley. Berkeley, okay. Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, I'm so cool. I'm so glad. I was reading a note when I saw the writing I wrote. Cool, haunting backup vocals, because I'm talking about "Oh My Darling"
This song.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got neat drums, cool, haunting backup vocals is what I wrote here. And yeah, so I was